welcome to our deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling
some pretty big stuff.
some long-term
Long-term economic trends. Yeah.
Especially
Right.
income and wealth inequality.
Yes.
You've provided us with excerpts
Right.
from Thomas Piketty's Capital in the 21st century.
Yes, capital in the 21st century.
With a heavy focus on parts 1, 2, and 3.
Parts 1, 2, and 3.
We'll be diving deep
Yeah.
into how wealth accumulates,
How wealth accumulates.
impact on society,
Impact on society.
and what trends we might see in the future.
It's a fascinating exploration, especially since Piketty goes beyond, just the dry economic theory.
Yeah.
He weaves in history, literature,
Yeah.
and even examples from classic novels
Yeah.
to show how wealth has shaped
Yeah.
societies over time.
Okay, so before we get too deep,
Let's define what we mean by it.
let's start with the basics.
What is economic context?
Right. It's, it's more than just
More than just money in the bank.
money in the bank. Capital refers to a much broader category of assets.
Okay.
So things like real estate,
Yeah.
financial assets, so that's things like stocks and bonds,
Yeah.
and business capital,
Okay.
which includes factories and machinery, patents,
So it's basically
Basically-
anything that can be owned and traded.
can be owned and traded for value.
Okay, so this is excluding human capital, like
But excluding human capital.
skills and education.
Skills and education.
Got it.
Right.
It's interesting how Piketty
Yeah.
uses 19th century literature to illustrate this.
These concepts.
Yeah, he points out how
He points out how
authors like Balzac and Austen frequently use specific amounts of money in their novels.
specific amounts of money in their novels.
Yeah.
And those amounts had real meaning for their readers.
Yes. And readers in that era understood the weight of those figures
Right.
because currencies were much more stable back then. So
It's a reminder of how,
like a dowry of 1,000,000 francs in Balzac's time
Yeah.
really painted a picture
a very clear picture.
social standing,
Yeah.
that character's social standing and economic reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That level of detail wouldn't really
Very
make as much sense in today's world.
right. It's a reminder of how
Exactly.
economic realities impact,
Right.
something as unrelated as
Can impact even something as seemingly
literature.
unrelated as literature.
Right. Now, I'm
Yeah.
curious about the historical context.
I'm curious.
Piketty compares capital accumulation in
Yeah.
Europe and the United States,
In Europe and the United States.
highlighting some key differences.
Key difference. What stands out to you?
Well, one of the biggest things that jumps out at me is the role of foreign capital.
Okay.
Foreign capital played a much smaller role in the U.S.
Right.
than it did in Europe.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Given the U.S.'s history as a former colony.
As a former colony.
Right.
Precisely.
Right. They weren't
A
major colonial power in the same way that
colonial power in the same way
European nations were.
that the European nations were.
Right.
So the U.S. wasn't heavily investing in
Yeah.
and extracting income from other parts of the world. So its wealth accumulation was largely
Right.
driven by
Internal factors.
internal factors.
Piketty also brings up the impact of slavery
Yes.
in the American South,
Yeah.
which is often
Because often
overlooked in economic discussion.
in discussions of economics.
Yeah.
He emphasizes that slave ownership was just a massive concentration of capital.
Right.
Slaves were property.
Right.
They were bought and sold,
Yeah.
and they generated income for their owners.
Right. A truly brutal
A truly brutal system.
Let's shift gears to
From a purely economic perspective,
Yeah.
represented a huge accumulation
huge accumulation
rate of capital in the hands of a small group.
Okay. Let's shift gears
Okay.
to the broader dynamics
Broader dynamics
of wealth accumulation.
of wealth accumulation.
Piketty introduces this
Yes, he does.
fundamental economic equation
Yeah.
that governs long-term capital accumulation.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is the big one.
Yeah.
Beta equals S over G.
Can you break this down?
I can break it down.
Yeah.
So it's simpler than it looks. Beta represents the capital income ratio.
Okay.
So that's how much capital exists
Yeah.
compared to the total income generated
Okay.
in an economy.
Got it.
S is the savings rate,
Okay.
and G is the economy's growth rate.
So it basically tells us
So it tells us how much capital
society accumulates based on
based on these factors. Now, does it matter why people are saving?
Well, that's the fascinating part.
Okay.
This law applies regardless of the
Lever-
reasons behind saving.
Okay.
So
Just go.
it could be for retirement.
Retirement. It could be for inheritance.
Just being cautious.
It could be just being cautious.
And the equation still holds true.
The equation still holds true.
Okay. I can already see how
You could see.
this seemingly simple
This
equation
seemingly simple equation
has major implications.
has major implications. For example, changes in growth rates,
Okay.
especially demographic growth,
Uh-huh.
can significantly impact capital accumulation.
Okay.
For instance, the higher population growth in the U.S.
Yeah.
compared to Europe
Okay.
helped keep
Keep the capital income ratio lower.
the capital income ratio.
Lower in the U.S., even with similar savings rates.
Okay, so thinking about the future
So thinking about the future,
with potentially slower global economic growth.
slower global economic growth.
Could we see capital income ratios rise?
Could we see those capital income ratios rise?
Higher.
Even higher.
It's,
A crucial claim to ponder.
And it leads us to,
It leads us to
the structure of inequality itself, which is where
structure of inequality itself. And
things
that's
get really interesting.
where things get really interesting.
Piketty
Yeah.
challenges some common assumptions
Just some common assumptions
about how we measure
About how we measure,
inequality.
do you suggest that we
He suggests that we often
Oh, sure.
overemphasize income
We're overemphasizing
from labor.
from labor.
He makes a compelling case
A compelling case
that capital ownership
is far more unequally distributed
is far more unequally distributed
than labor income.
than labor income.
That's
And this leads to
And this leads to extreme
wealth
concentration,
Yes.
as we see with the top 1%.
often owning
Often owning a
a vastly disproportionate
disparate share
of the total wealth.
yeah,
It's hard to
of the total wealth.
Yeah.
It's hard to even grasp the scale
That's the fail.
of that disparity.
Disparity.
Absolutely. And it makes me wonder, how has inequality
Right.
changed throughout history? It can't be like a
Right.
static phenomenon.
Isn't it? You're right. You're right. It's not a static phenomenon. The shocks of the 20th century, things like
Yeah.
world wars,
World wars,
the Great Depression,
the Great Depression, and the resulting policies.
and the policies that came out of those events
Yeah.
significantly concentration
Significant.
of time. But we've seen
inequality
rising again
rising again
in recent decades.
in recent decades.
Yeah,
That brings us to a thought-provoking question.
it does.
Does inheritance still matter?
Does inheritance still matter?
In our modern
high growth
Yeah.
economy.
Many assume it's become less important.
Many people think that
It's still important.
he challenges
That's
that
challenges the notion.
notion that inheritance is irrelevant.
Okay.
He uses data from France
Yeah.
to kind of critique Modigliani's life cycle theory,
Uh-huh.
which suggests that people
Which suggests that people mainly accumulate wealth for retirement.
primarily accumulate wealth for retirement, but
in reality,
but
people accumulate wealth.
people accumulate wealth for various reasons.
Yeah, for a lot of different reasons.
And passing on fortunes
Yeah.
to heir remains a powerful motivator.
Remains a powerful motivator.
Yeah.
So the idea that modern economics has diminished the role of inheritance is a myth.
Well, it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
The share of inherited wealth
Uh-huh.
actually decreased
Decreased
during the mid-20th century.
during the mid-20th century.
That was a period driven by unique historical events.
By-
But we've seen it steadily rising
rising
in
since
the 1970s.
Could we be headed back to
Will we be headed back
a
to
world resembling
a world that resembled
the 19th century,
the 19th century,
where inherited wealth
where inherited wealth
really shapes
society?
society?
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
And that leads us to another fascinating
And that leads us to another fascinating
comparison
Piketty draws between
the past
and the present.
He argues there are parallels between
He argues there are parallels.
the highly unequal worlds. Between those highly unequal worlds
Depicted by
depicted
Right,
Balzac and Austin
Balzac and Austin.
and
the
our current situation.
What are those parallels?
So what are those parallels? Well,
Yeah, I'm curious to hear
in both eras,
more about this.
achieving a truly comfortable life
Okay.
often required
Yeah.
access to capital
Access to capital
far beyond what most people
Well,
could earn
it's
from their
really, yeah.
labor alone.
from their labor alone.
Either you needed inherited wealth
Yeah.
or you needed to be
Or you need to be part of
part of a small elite
a small elite with exceptionally high earnings.
With those exceptionally high earnings.
And Piketty points out that, like, the justification
Well,
for
Piketty points out
those exceptionally high
the
earnings,
justifications for those exceptionally high
in
earnings
time, haven't they?
have changed over time.
Yeah, it's not just
A matter
it's
of
like,
hard work and talent
talent anymore.
anymore.
You've hit on a key point. In the 19th century,
In the 19th century,
high earnings
were often justified.
were often justified by the need for
This need for a comfortable lifestyle.
comfortable lifestyle.
Right. The idea was that you needed
enough wealth,
enough wealth to
You
pursue
pursue
your
your
talent,
talents,
contribute to society.
contribute to society,
A
and live
full life
with dignity.
with dignity. So it wasn't just about
It wasn't just about
that.
amassing extreme wealth.
Extreme wealth, but
Big
about
things
having
don't live
having
with
enough
you
to
there.
live well and make a.
A difference.
What shifted
What shifted?
in today's world?
Today, the focus has shifted to
Today, the focus has shifted to super managers.
super managers
These are individuals whose skills are considered
whose skills are considered so rare and
Right.
so valuable
so rare and valuable
that they command
that they command these
astronomical compensation.
economical compensation packages.
I'm sensing some skepticism from Piketty
There's a little
about this super manager narrative.
There's a little skepticism from Piketty about
Right,
the
you
super
said.
manager narrative.
About merit?
Or is this
It's
truly about
sharing.
merit, or is there
Something else at play.
something else at play here?
Yeah.
He suggests that it might be more
It might be about
power and social norms
and social norms
than actual productivity.
than actual productivity. It's a fascinating observation that challenges, like,
It's a fascinating
the traditional narrative of meritocracy.
The traditional narrative.
So it seems inequality isn't
Meritocracy.
simply driven by
So it seems inequality is driven by
economic forces, but also by
more than just economic forces.
the social and political context.
It's also driven by the social and political context.
That raises the question, what can be done
Right. That raises the question.
to address this complex issue?
How do we address this complex issue? Well, Piketty explores
He explores a
that.
range of potential solutions.
progressive taxation.
From progressive taxation
so
to
with increased
investment in education and
social safety nets.
social safety nets.
Yeah.
He also highlights the need to address inherited wealth.
To address inherited wealth. He even proposes some radical ideas.
Some radical ideas, like a global tax on capital,
A global tax.
which could potentially
Who are these?
help redistribute wealth
Which could help redistribute wealth
on a global scale.
on a global scale, although it would require
Although it would require
significant international cooperation. A lot of international cooperation.
these are
It's a bold idea.
certainly bold ideas that
And it's sparked a lot of debate.
challenge
But Piketty argues that we need to consider
conventional things.
bold solutions if we want to avoid a future
Yeah.
where a tiny elite
Where a tiny elite controls
most of the world's wealth.
most of the world's wealth. His work encourages us
His work encourages us
to think
critically about
the systems we live in and question
the systems we live in,
our assumptions about
wealth creation,
and
just distribute.
wealth creation and
It's
distribution.
easy to
easy.
fall into the trap of thinking.
Markets are inherently
That is
fair.
how-
Are inherently fair.
But Piketty demonstrates how inequality
Piketty demonstrates
fully entrenched.
how inequality can become deeply entrenched.
Even in societies that value merit, even in societies that value
And hard work.
merit and
Yeah.
hard work.
What can listeners
Take away
from this deep dive?
from this deep dive?
First and foremost, I think Piketty's work encourages us
It encourages us
to become more aware
of
the forces that are shaping
the forces that are shaping
economic realities
our economic reality,
and to be more proactive.
be more proactive in shaping
those forces toward
toward
a more just and equitable world.
more just and equitable world. It's
The call to action.
a reminder
A reminder that we have the power
that we have the power to shape
to shape future.
We want
Yeah.
capital in the 21st century.
Capital in the 21st century
Is a challenging read,
is a challenging read.
but it's incredibly important.
But it's incredibly
You
important
see, it gives us
because it gives us a
a
framework.
for understanding one of the most critical issues.
One of the most critical
Issues we face today.
today.
It prompts us
That prompts us
to engage with the question
I'm
of
engaged with that question of
we build
how we build a better future.
a better future. And that's something
That's something we're
pondering
I want to thank you for guiding us through
It's been my pleasure.
this, complex.
I encourage everyone to continue
Okay, fascinating.
exploring these ideas and to join the conversation
And our listeners
about building a more
will walk away with
that equitable world.
the deeper
It's been a pleasure. I
Dynamics
encourage
of society.
everyone to continue exploring these ideas
of the dynamics of wealth,
and to join the conversation about building a more just
and
and
inequality.
an equal world.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us
It's been my pleasure.
on the deep dive. Until next time.
I encourage everyone to continue exploring these ideas and to join the conversation about building a more just and equitable world.
Keep exploring.
It's been my pleasure.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Thomas Piketty's Capital in the 21st century. We've been unpacking, how wealth accumulates.
How wealth accumulates.
And the role of inheritance.
The role of inheritance.
But one thing that really struck me was how Piketty
measures economic progress.
economic progress.
Yeah,
He challenges the idea that
he does.
GDP growth tells the whole story.
He challenges that idea that GDP growth.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, he argues that we need to go beyond those big picture numbers and really see how the benefits of economic growth are distributed.
Yeah.
He highlights the importance of understanding purchasing power, so what people can actually buy with their income.
Yeah, so
and how that's changed over time.
Yeah. While overall wealth might be increasing, individual experiences
Individual experiences
can vary.
You vary
Wildly. Piketty even gives some examples of how, the prices of
He gives examples of how
everyday goods
our prices of everyday goods
have evolved differently.
have evolved differently.
That's it.
He points out that while prices have generally increased since the Industrial Revolution, some goods have risen faster than others.
Okay.
So, for instance, carrots might have kept pace with average price increases, while oranges, which benefited from cheaper transportation, could have increased tenfold.
So even if incomes are higher, people's ability to buy
certain goods might have changed drastically. It makes you realize
makes you realize
those big economic indicators
don't always reflect the reality on the ground.
Reality on the ground. It highlights the importance of looking
out of the detail.
The granular changes
that
aggregate statistics might obscure. Piketty also emphasizes
considering the value
of public spending
when assessing overall well-being. Because things like healthcare and education, even if provided free by the government, still represent form of wealth
or income.
Right?
Exactly. Simply looking at the cost of providing
those services.
Those services doesn't capture
their full value
to
individuals.
Quality healthcare and education.
Quality healthcare and education
can
dramatically improve
lives and opportunity. Even if it doesn't show up directly. In those GDP figures. Right.
It makes you think about
how
we define
progress.
Producing more.
It's not just about producing more.
It's about
the quality of life. People experience. Shifting gears
a bit. I want to revisit.
Let's revisit
that fundamental economic equation.
We
discussed earlier.
We talked about earlier.
Beta equals S over G.
Yes. That powerful little equation.
Worth emphasizing that.
That's worth emphasizing.
This relationship between the capital income ratio, savings rates,
and
growth rates
remains
constant, regardless of why people save.
It's amazing how such a simple equation captures such a complex
economic dynamic. It feels almost like
economic dynamic.
A universal law of economics.
It's a universal law of economics.
And Piketty demonstrates how this equation has played out. Across
different countries and historical periods.
Countries.
He shows how slower growth
And historical.
With continued high savings
Yeah.
has led to a significant increase in capital income ratios in many developed countries.
In many developed countries.
Particularly in Europe and Japan.
Particularly in Europe and Japan.
Yeah.
And he calls this trend like the comeback of private capital.
He calls this the comeback of private capital.
Right. Almost like like a new era.
The new era
of patrimonial
capitalism.
What factors have contributed to this trend?
One factor is...
Well, one factor is the privatization of wealth.
The privatization of wealth.
So that's like...
the gradual transfer of public assets into private hands.
The gradual transfer of like public assets into private hands.
This includes things like privatizing state-owned companies, deregulating financial markets.
State-owned companies deregulating
financial market.
And like
the government's role in the economy.
Reducing the government's role in the economy.
So less government involvement.
So less government and
private ownership.
And more private ownership, it sounds like.
It's a significant shift.
That's a significant shift
in the economic landscape.
It
has contributed to a shift from...
a shift from public to private ownership of capital.
The second factor is
the rise
in asset prices.
Particularly like real estate and stocks.
Real estate and stocks.
I've definitely heard a lot about rising housing costs.
And
stock market
fluctuations.
How do those
tie into this? Tie into the equation. Well, Piketty shows how asset prices have tended to rise faster than average incomes.
Over the long run.
This has boosted the wealth.
Yeah, this has boosted the wealth
of these who own those assets.
Further
increasing capital income ratios in many countries.
Capital income ratios in many countries.
Right.
So we have slower growth.
Privatization. And rising asset prices.
Yeah, all contributing to this comeback
of private capital.
What does that mean for... inequality?
Is it likely to get worse? Is it likely to get worse? Well, that's the complex question.
It's the complex throughout the book. It's safe to say that
I think it's safe to say
this trend will likely lead to greater wealth concentration
for those
who already own capital. If capital is becoming more important.
Right. If capital is becoming more important than labor
income and capital ownership.
And capital ownership is already
highly concentrated.
Then inequality will
almost certainly increase, right?
Will almost certainly increase. And it leads to an important question. An important question
about the future.
To the levels of wealth inequality
will we see a return
in the 19th century
if
these trends continue?
Of wealth inequality.
What are the social and political
minimums that existed in the 19th century if these trends continue?
Implications of such a scenario.
It's a sobering thought. Thinking back.
It is a sobering thought.
To something you mentioned earlier. Looking beyond.
Thinking back to something you mentioned earlier, looking beyond GDP.
Economic progress.
To understand economic progress.
What other
factors
should we be considering? Piketty challenges us.
Well, Piketty
to think more critically.
Challenges us to think more critically about what makes a good
just society. He argues that focusing
solely on
economic growth can...
He argues that focusing solely on economic growth can lead us down the wrong path. Because growth doesn't always benefit everyone. Equally. And it doesn't tell us anything about things like...
And it doesn't tell us anything about...
Social mobility. Environmental sustainability.
Overall well-being. Precisely.
Piketty encourages us
to consider a broader range of factors.
When assessing
the health of a society.
Not just
economic output.
So it's not just about
the numbers. But
about the values.
The values that underpin our economic and social policies. It's about asking ourselves, what kind of
social policies
do we got?
Asking ourselves, what kind of world do we want to live?
Check social message. That's a powerful
resonates far beyond economics. It's particularly relevant in today's world.
Far beyond economics.
Where we face,
it's particularly relevant.
Unprecedented challenges. Where we face unprecedented challenges like climate change.
Ecological disruption.
Technological disruption.
And as we've been discussing.
Rising inequality.
We've certainly covered a lot of ground.
In
this deep dive. From
the nuances of capital accumulation.
To the limitations. The limitations of traditional economic metrics. Where do we go from here? In the next part of our
exploration, we'll delve into
Piketty's
analysis of inequality on
into the factors that drive it,
how it's evolved,
and the potential consequences.
The factors that drive it and the potential consequences.
Over time, the factors that drive it and the potential consequences of these trends.
Right.
I'm ready to dive into
those insights.
Those insights.
Let's move on
to the final part.
Let's move on.
Let's have our deep dive
into capital in the 21st century. Where we'll explore
Piketty's thoughts on
solutions and what we can learn.
From
his analysis.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
In this final part of our exploration of capital in the 21st century, we're diving into one of the most pressing issues. Of our time, inequality.
Not just inequality in general, but the specific dynamics of income and wealth disparities.
Inequality in general. But
within and across.
Like the specific dynamics of income and wealth.
Right.
Disparities.
Within
across nations.
As we've seen.
As we've seen.
Understanding how capital is
accumulated and distributed is crucial to understanding how inequality plays out
in the real world.
Piketty makes a very striking point. The disparity between capital ownership
and
labor income.
He emphasizes that capital ownership is far.
More
unequally distributed.
Than labor income. Leading to what he calls extreme inequality. This refers to the concentration of wealth.
In the hands of a very
small percentage
of the population. He uses that term extreme inequality.
And it really captures
the scale
of this issue.
What kind of data does he use to support this claim?
Well, he provides some very compelling data.
Yeah.
Showing that in many societies, the top 1%, the top 1% of wealth holders can own like
more than half of
all the wealth.
Yes.
It's hard to grasp the scale of that.
If they can grasp the scale of that.
It's like a completely different economic reality.
That's no different economic reality.
At the very top. Is this a new phenomenon?
Not at all.
Good.
Piketty traces this back through history, showing how it's been a recurring feature of many societies. It's been a recurring feature of many societies.
He even draws a fascinating comparison.
Especially those with low.
Between the world described in 19th century novels by authors like...
He draws a fascinating
comparison between like...
state of affairs.
The world described in like 19th century novels by authors like...
Exactly. It's like we're seeing...
Balzac and Austen and the current state of affairs.
In some ways.
Can you elaborate on that comparison?
Can you elaborate on that comparison?
Well... What are the similarities between those
in both eras?
Seemingly different worlds.
It truly sort of life often requires.
Like just similarities between seemingly different worlds.
Far beyond what most people
could
earn
from their labor alone.
Achieving a truly comfortable...
It meant you either needed to inherit wealth.
Often required access to capital far.
Or be part of that.
Beyond what most people could earn from their labor alone.
With those exceptionally high earnings.
It meant you either needed to inherit wealth or be part of that tiny elite with exceptionally high earnings.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like we're seeing a repeat in some ways.
And Piketty argues that, like the justification.
And Piketty argues that the justification...
Those exceptionally high earners...
Those exceptionally high earners...
Have evolved over time.
Over time. Yeah. What were those justifications in the past?
Was justifications in the past?
In the 19th century, the focus was on...
In the 19th century...
Achieving a comfortable lifestyle.
Achieving a comfortable lifestyle.
So the idea...
The idea was that you needed enough wealth...
You needed enough wealth...
To pursue your talent.
To pursue...
Contribute to society.
Live a life of dignity.
Contribute to society and live a life of dignity.
It wasn't just about
accumulating extreme wealth.
Yeah.
But it was
about having enough.
About having enough to live
and make a difference.
Well, and make a difference.
Right.
How has that justification changed today?
How has that justification changed today?
Today we often hear about like super managers.
These
individuals whose skills are supposedly so rare and valuable
is that they deserve astronomical compensation.
Right.
But you mentioned earlier.
But as we mentioned,
Piketty seems skeptical of the supermanager narrative, about the supermanager narrative. He suggests it might be more
about like
power and social norms.
Social norms than actual
productivity. He presents evidence that the astronomical pay of top executives
isn't always tied to their contribution to a company's success.
Isn't always tied to their contributions to a company's success.
It might be more.
It might be more about like their negotiating skills or a culture that tolerates, even celebrates extreme wealth.
That tolerates
at the top.
Even celebrates extreme wealth at the top.
That raises important questions.
Right. That raises some important questions.
About how we address inequality.
If
it's not.
Simply a matter of market forces.
The
kind of policies
or interventions are needed
to create
a more just and equitable society. Piketty explores.
Well, Piketty explores
a range of
potential solutions.
Progressive taxation.
To increased investments in education.
Investment in education and social safety nets.
Yeah.
He also highlights the need to address inherited wealth. Which he sees
as a key
driver of persistent
inequality. He even proposes some more radical ideas like a global tax on capital,
which could potentially
help
redistribute wealth.
On a global scale.
Although it would require
significant
international cooperation. It's a bold idea, and it's certainly sparked a lot of debate. But Piketty argues that we need
and it's certainly
consider bold solutions.
It sparked a lot of debate.
If we want to avoid.
But Piketty argues that we need to consider bold.
We're a tiny elite controls
solutions if we want to avoid a future where
most of the world
a tiny elite controls most of the world's wealth. His work encourages us to think critically about
the
systems we live in.
And to question
our assumptions about wealth creation and distribution. It's easy to fall into the trap.
Of thinking that markets are inherently
inefficient. But Piketty demonstrates how inequality
can become deeply entrenched. Even in societies
that value merit and hard work.
What can listeners take away
from this deep dive?
First and foremost, I think
Piketty's work encourages us to become more aware. Our economic realities.
And the forces that are shaping.
And to be more proactive.
In shaping those forces toward a more just.
And to be more proactive in shaping those forces toward a more just and equitable world.
A reminder.
It's a call to action, a reminder.
That we have the power.
To shape
the future we want. Capital in the 21st century?
Is
a challenging read.
But it's incredibly important.
because it gives us a framework
for understanding.
One of the most critical issues
that we face today.
It
prompts us
to engage that question of
how we build a better future. That's something worth pondering.
And that's been my pleasure.
Something worth pondering.
I encourage everyone to continue exploring these ideas.
I want to thank you.
And to join the conversation about building a more just and equitable world.
For guiding us through.
It's been my pleasure. I encourage everyone to continue exploring these ideas and to join the conversation about building a more just and equitable world.
A fascinating topic.
It's been my pleasure.
I think our listeners will walk away with.
I encourage everyone to continue exploring these ideas and to join the conversation about building a more just and equitable world.
A deeper understanding.
It's been my pleasure.
Of the dynamics of.
I encourage everyone to continue exploring these ideas and to join the conversation about building a more just and equitable world.
Both in that.
It's been my pleasure.
Inequality.
I encourage everyone to continue exploring these ideas and to join the conversation about building a more just and equitable world.
That's a great note to end on.
It's been my pleasure.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
I encourage everyone to continue exploring these ideas and to join the conversation about building a more just and equitable world.
Until next time.
It's been my pleasure.
Keep exploring.